Janke, a very good morning to you. Let's just go back a little bit. Where did this case start?
Well, Dan, you might remember back in 2017, we did see those protests against farm murders with a specific day dedicated to it known as Black Monday. And there were photos that surfaced and some reports of people displaying the old official flag or the Apartheid flag during those protests. And that's when the Nelson Mandela Foundation said that they were thinking of whether this is still acceptable and if it should rather not be declared hate speech when people do display the flag or the gratuitous displaying of the flag and not necessarily for the purposes of journalism or education or artistic views. And after that, they did decide to make this application to the Equality Court today, sitting in the Johannesburg High Court.
Okay, we should be expecting this to be pretty much a straightforward, quick judgment. However, we don't know until it starts in the Equality Court. What have the two sides really said? What are the arguments that they've presented in court?
Well, as you've mentioned, the Nelson Mandela Foundation, supported by the Human Rights Commission, is saying that this is basically a symbol that reminds people of a time, apartheid specifically, that was declared by the United Nations as a crime against humanity, saying that it is a symbol of dehumanizing people and basically a symbol of a time where there was ideas around racial superiority. And they're saying that this should no longer be able to be displayed if it's not in the case of journalism or artistic views or in the places like museums. They're saying that even though it is an important part of history, that is where it needs to stay. AfriForum, on the other hand, saying that they were added as a respondent in this case, and they were basically reluctantly responding to this, saying that they do not encourage the use of the old South African flag, but they're arguing that this goes against a freedom of expression, going as far as saying that if we do want to take this one symbol and ban it, these could have far-reaching implications for other symbols, saying that even then symbols of communism need to be banned, specifically in South Africa, if you take back the history of it across the world. So both of them not necessarily encouraging, or the AfriForum not encouraging the use, saying that they're actively discouraging the use of it. But if you take it into a broader context, they're saying it goes against the freedom of expression. The Nelson Mandela Foundation saying that we've come to a stage in South Africa that we need to accept this as something that is unacceptable to be displayed because of the symbolism behind it.
Okay, Janke, what time are the proceedings expected to begin in court?
We are expecting the judgment to start at 10 a.m. here in the Johannesburg High Court, and then afterwards we do expect some response from the Nelson Mandela Foundation, who will be in court, who said they will have a press briefing here on the steps behind me, and then obviously we'll hear from AfriForum's side on what they have to say about the outcome of this court matter.
Thank you very much, Janke Tolme at the South Gauteng High Court in Johannesburg.